Hello again, Hope folks. So, this is the FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions video that I mentioned that I would put up just to try to address some of the questions folks had and that you may also have. So I'm going to go through these in no particular order just because I put them all in a Word document. So I'll read from that and we'll try to address things as they come up. So hopefully this will be helpful. All right, I had somebody who was asking for a sound file in MP3, meaning audio, that means you hear it, not see it, not video, to be sent to them, and also needed music. So you all may know that those have gone out via Google Drive, and I have sent the links to that. But if you are struggling and don't know how to get to Google Drive or cannot get that to work on your device, and the audio would help you, then you need to email me, that's ken@hopetoall.org, so that I know you want something sent to you. Now, by now, you probably are aware that they've also been put up in video form on YouTube, so that may be a moot point. But later on, you will find that having that audio will be helpful, and I'll explain why when that question comes up. So make sure to let me know if you need the audio and whether and which version of it is, and if you need the sheet music for some reason and cannot get to that on Google Drive as well, because I put that up as well, I can email that again. I believe that went out attached to an email blast, but if you need it again for some reason and can't find it, let me know. Okay. Somebody mentioned that they listened to this song on YouTube. This was before I had made my versions. Is your version the same? Didn't know how to use Google Drive and asking about MP3s to open on the computer. Yes, MP3 is just a form of audio that your computer should automatically know how to unlock and play, because pretty much every computer has some kind of a music player that is default. So that should work. If you have a cell phone, there are ways to get that onto your phone as well, particularly if you read your email on your phone, then you can just open the attachment, which means basically you open the email on your phone and then you go to that audio file attached to the email and listen to it right there. But getting back to the version, you may know that the version that we arranged for this is not the same exactly as the original. The original, it's not like we're deviating tremendously, but it is longer, and there are some times when the harmony deviates a little bit. That is on purpose, and so therefore it's important that you learn the version that I put up and not another one. Even though it's the same song, even though it may have the same lyrics, it is not the same exact arrangement. So it's important that you familiarize yourself with the one I'm sending out, if nothing else because the tempo matters and you need to make sure that you learn it at that speed. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so people are wanting to know about dress codes. I'm sure you know by now that Pentecost, we normally wear red. I, at this point, am not going to try to dictate that to everybody. I think it's just going to be fun to do this, and it doesn't matter to me particularly what you wear at this point. If you want to wear red when you schedule your recording, that's great. But if you do not have it on or forget, don't worry about it. It's much more important that we get the footage and can edit everything together. The anticipated range of dates when filming. I would like to begin scheduling those by the beginning of next week. Now, I'm going to try to do that via an online resource where people can sign up for a time slot. And I have to look into that more before I can send that out. So that will be a separate follow-up video later on down the line to let you know how we're going to do that. Now, if you're not ready by next week at the beginning of the week, don't worry about it. We're not going to make every day of every week available. There's going to be ranges that we'll fulfill, and then make sure that you get a chance to get that done. I've had some people say that they'd be leaving town by early or the middle of May to go back up north. We should be recording before then. So if you'd like to participate, there should be time. All right. I also had somebody contact me who's already gone as a joke and say they would love for me to show up in their driveway in Upper Peninsula or wherever it is to film them. I know this is going to be a more complex answer, but there are ways to do this where you could provide the footage, but you need to be tech savvy enough with your computer and its onboard camera to be able to film yourself and play the accompaniment track for yourself, and sing along with it. So in a sense, what I would hear is you singing into your camera, just like I am talking to you through mine right now, and all I would hear would be your voice singing along with the track. Now, you wonder, well, how would I hear it? Well, the point is that you wear headphones and you play it from a device, either the same computer or a phone, and you would sing along with the device, but it would not pick up the accompaniment through your camera. That's the most important thing. And that is why when someone suggested that they had a Bluetooth speaker and they could gather a bunch of people around and we could film it all together, unfortunately that will not work, because when we are capturing the video of one or more people singing, the only audio we really want to hear is the voices. We can't take the audio from the accompaniment and send that back through the video recordings that we're going to make and have that work out. The accompaniment portion of whatever it is that you sing to, whatever the instruments are. Right now you're used to hearing piano. It will be more than that, but that all needs to be layered in within the software program down the road. So that's why all I want to capture that I can hear is your voice only, not the accompaniment, which is why it's so important that you have something to follow that will keep you on pitch and on tempo as you sing. Now, that's why it's so valuable that you have a set of headphones and a device that you can play from. Now, if you're going, well, great, I don't have those, so forget it, I guess I'm not doing it. I will have a device. I will figure out how to get a set of headphones and hopefully, if necessary, be able to sanitize them per person so that, we're not risking anything. And that way you'll still be able to sing. So if you can only rehearse with your laptop or your desktop computer at home, but you don't have anything when you show up in your car or you're in your driveway, you don't know how to sing because you don't want to bring your computer out into the lawn, I understand. Now, however, if you do have a phone, then you need to get that audio recording on your phone, all right? There again, it might be a reason why it's important to have me email out the MP3 audio to people so that they can keep that and use it when comes the time. So if you got your phone or some other device like that and then a set of headphones that you can put in, that's all we need. If you are a couple singing together, I'm going to look into whether or not I can get a little audio splitter so that you could use two sets of headphones, or if necessary, you stand real close together and you got one has this earphone and the other one has this earphone and you guys are singing simultaneously. Okay? Some of those details have yet to be worked out, but understand that they're not insurmountable. So even though I don't have clear answers on everything, don't count yourself out just because you don't think that you're going to be able to have a device to listen to or a set of headphones. We'll figure that out. Okay? All right. Yes, there is a typo in the lyrics. Just making sure you're paying attention. It is use, not us. So there you go. Just to confirm that. Okay? All right. So are we really going to do driveways? Yes, potentially. But I had a couple people make suggestions about scheduling times for people to actually do something drive up, maybe in golf carts or in regular cars, perhaps in an area of the church parking lot that we can separate off. Here's the thing. You got to understand this. No matter where you fall in the bracket of safety, whether you think this is ridiculous and you don't understand why we can't just be normal, or whether you think that you can't leave your house even to go for groceries, we are trying to be safe. And I am not interested in putting anybody at risk. And as you well know, a minimal amount of staff have continued going up to the church as need be in part to create recordings for services and to also work. So people are still going places and doing things. So if you're going to the grocery store, it's not that big of a deal for you to head over to Hope at some point and show up and sing from your golf cart. So that might be a way that we could do that instead of, if you'd prefer that, rather than me having to come to your house. However, I don't mind coming to your house. So in all likelihood, we're going to offer those options and maybe have a range of dates for one and a range of dates for the other. So we'll get into that more later on down the road, but that is the likelihood. That will give you options. I don't want anybody coming in the church building. I don't want anybody getting closer than 6 feet away from anybody else unless they live in your house. And I want to be sure that we don't compromise anyone, no matter whether you think that's silly or not. So it's just important that we maintain those strict rules, for everybody. So that's the deal with that. Okay? And that's also the reason why we will not be recording more than 2 people at a time. So if you're a couple, then you're already in the house together. But if you want to sing with your neighbors and you just so happen to be in a choir together, I'm not going to put you guys side by side to do that. So the whole point of doing a virtual choir is that you capture each individual voice and camera, and then you put them together virtually. So you do that in software and you create an ensemble out of that. So if that makes you feel like you're going to be singing a solo, trust me, you're not. I know you may be uncomfortable because you're going to hear yourself singing alone when we record it, but no one is going to hear you singing alone when it's played back. So if you've seen the Brady Bunch, you know what it's like when they line up the 9 people in the grid. So you can imagine something like that with all the choir members, okay, singing along simultaneously, okay? So don't worry about that, and certainly don't use that as a reason not to participate, okay? All right, what else? Can we do variations on a theme, i.e. harmony, descant, ? Okay, I know some of you like to get creative, and perhaps 4 verses of melody is boring to you. I understand that. But we also have the riskier part of what's this really going to sound like when we're done. And the more variation we have, the greater chance for it to crash and burn and to not turn out as well as it could have. So we have to limit the creativity on the part of the individual, if you get my meaning. Now with that, I have heard from at least one female tenor who said that they could not sing the melody as written in either of the 2 octaves because it was either slightly too low or too high. So if that is you, I want you to know that I am going to insert a harmony part at a particular point in the song. That is not to say that you can make it up and that you can sing harmony the whole time. So you must understand that if you truly cannot sing the melody, I will give you something to sing and you can learn it, but you won't be able to record necessarily the entire song. You can stand there and we'll just take the video footage and the audio from the part that you can sing and we'll load that in later. But the point is that I have to very carefully control what that harmony is. So I will write that and I will send that out. Now, here's the caveat. I don't want 85 to 90% of you all singing the harmony because I've had so long to learn this and it's really cool. I need mostly melody anyway, so even if you can sing the harmony, it's probably not going to be for you. Because here's why. Sopranos, you have to stay on the melody, all right? I may give you a descant part on verse 3 where you can deviate, and then on verse 4 when we go back to harmony, you have to go back to melody. There's not going to be anything above the melody at that point. But I can tell you verses 1 and 2 are going to be unison the entire time. So, everybody needs to learn the melody regardless, and there'll be little places here and there where you get to do some stuff that's different, but it's never going to be more than a 2-part song, okay? Because if we did anything beyond that, it would be too complicated for a first time out, and I want to make sure that we have a good experience. So, I will give you more information about harmony in another video, but just know that if you've been chomping at the bit, it is coming. You're welcome. Okay. Memorization for the video, not necessary, but you can if you'd like to. If you want to use the lyric sheet and or the music sheet, that's totally fine. It may mean, new question is, since you now have 5 ways to listen, and first is women, then men, then couple, does that mean they may use a verse for only women, no, only men? No, not really. I am planning on primarily taking a look at all of the material together and determining how best we can make use of what we've got, but I don't have a clear-cut idea in mind at this point, for arranging that, if you will. I do have one tiny little idea for the end that I'm not going to tell you, but otherwise I plan on singing the whole thing at this point. I just gave different versions to help people that need to learn or listen in a different way. Okay, now some choral stuff. What is the right way to sing the word fill? Okay, well, that's the short I, and as you might know, that's going to be best sung in a choral setting like an umlaut. So, E in the back, E in the front, U, and you get E, and then that becomes the fill, okay? Fill me, okay? And there's some other short I's in there, but generally go with the 5 true vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and know that E in the middle is really not a smiley bright E, it's really that umlaut, and that should cover you for most everything, okay? Do we have to sing in the driveway for all the neighbors, landscapers, and delivery folks to hear? Well, like I said, if you want to come to the church, you could do that. I'm not going to come in your house because the idea is that we're trying to remain safe, so I won't intrude on your space, and I won't ask you to intrude on mine, hence the driveway. But if you'd feel more comfortable going down your side yard or something like that, and standing in the back or whatever, provided we can get a decent quality sound, I'm open to that. But we do have to be aware of lighting too. So most of the time, the driveway tends to be a little brighter at the front of the house, but not always, I realize. So we'll have to play that by ear. Okay. Cue cards. Yeah, if you want cue cards, you want to hold the paper, you want to hold the music, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about that part of it. Sing in a voice that you're comfortable using for good projection. Somebody was asking about volume. Just sing like it's a choir. Okay, I know that in a confidence way, if you don't have people around you singing your part, sometimes it makes you want to quiet down. Use good breathing. Make sure you're supporting from the diaphragm, and all of that stuff should give us a good tone quality. That's what we're looking for. Warming up before you go on camera, once again, I'd like to be able to give you more of those videos down the line for warming up, but at this point haven't had the chance to do it. So a lot of the stuff that we do in choir regularly, you probably know. Certainly buzz, make sure that you're making sound. It doesn't even have to be on pitch. And then start to make sure that as you open up, that you're relaxing. You're keeping all these muscles around the larynx relaxed no matter what it is you're saying. And then work your way from the middle comfortable area outward in both directions. Okay? Yes, I realize the next question is about nerves, and some people might get nervous doing this. You feel most comfortable in a choir because you're hidden in a section. I get that. Like I said, once again, this is a stepping out option. It's supposed to be fun. It's not designed to create a ton of fear, but I also want to encourage you to try something new, because what other choice do you have, right? And also know that you will not be exposed, even though you'll feel like it when you're doing it in the recording. It will not sound that way at the end, I promise. Okay? So just remember that. Okay? Some folks have asked how many people have committed to this so far. Kind of roughly, Judy Brown's hanging on to those numbers for me now, so I'm not exactly sure. But, we're definitely in the double digits, and I will expect more people to want to be involved, the more videos and the more we just keep kind of putting things out there and latecomers realize what's going on. So, and I may try to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind too, because I know there are some folks that aren't quite as tech savvy, but for now, I think we've got a nice number of folks. It won't be as big as our normal choir when we're all together, but at the same time, this is a unique time period, so we're doing what we can. Okay? So that's basically all I have so far. Hopefully that answered your questions. Like I said, I'll be doing another video for harmony down the line, and another video specifically, probably just to make sure that before you, another video for the sign-ups for your part, and then in that same video, I will show you specifically what it's going to be like when you are listening on your device through your headphones and singing along, so that all I hear is your voice. All right, so we'll try to make that clear for everybody. If you are interested, I don't have a link in here, but Eric Whitaker, who is not a friend of mine, he is a famous composer and conductor, has been doing virtual choirs on roughly an annual basis for several years. And if you go to YouTube and search Eric Whitaker Virtual Choir, there's about 4 or 5 of them there. Now, we're not going to do anything nearly as fancy as what he did, but it's pretty cool. So if you want to check that out to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like or sound like, or what the potential is, you can get an idea. And on the 5th one, which is the one that they did for Space, I actually sung on that one, but you have to find me in the credits, and I'm about like 472nd down on the list at the very end. It's a long piece, but if you really want to listen through it, it's kind of cool. So anyway, there you go. Hopefully that helps you, and if you have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to email me. If they haven't already been answered, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much, folks.